So, talk me through getting the call for Champs vs. Stars season 3, because they asked you previously, but you turned it down. Am I right? And what made you say yes this time?
Okay, so they apparently asked me season 1 and 2, or maybe it was just season 1 or 2 when it was.
One was professional athletes.
One was pros, right?
Yeah.
So it was 2. I said no. I didn't even say no. My team said no. They just don't bring reality to me because they know that I don't do reality.
Sure.
I swear I've never done a reality show.
I know.
So
I looked at your IMDb.
oh wow,
Deep dive on Casper.
yeah. And so my team, I didn't even know about it. I guess my PR, she was like, "Hey, remember I told you about this a while ago?" And I was like, "No, I don't remember." And she's like, "You probably just didn't care," because I didn't, because I just don't do reality. So I didn't even pay it any mind because my team just says no. Like probably in the past 5 or 6 years, we've probably turned down like, I don't know, 20 or 30 reality opportunities.
So what made you open the door to this one?
It just sounded really fun. I guess I didn't really hear it out the first time, and I didn't really look at it. I got the call from my agent about it, and he was like, "It's for charity, and it's $150,000 towards whatever charity you want." And I've been wanting to do a charity.
And remind us who you played for.
What's that?
Who were you playing for? Charity?
Inner City Arts, which has to do with like inner city kids that don't have the opportunity or resources or outlets to do like performing arts, whether it's dance or music or acting or directing or writing, drawing, painting, whatever those art forms are, like I didn't as a kid.
Right.
So I wasn't really able to explore like the talents that I have now or the field I went into till like much, much later in life, which I kind of stumbled into by accident, I guess with a purpose and destiny.
Right.
But not a lot of the kids, those kids have that opportunity. So, and it's in my backyard. It's in LA where I'm from and California. So I really like that because I can go visit and go be there. So I thought it was just a really cool opportunity to do that. And it sounded really fun. And I was dating this girl at the time and she was like, "Hey, I got the same call about the show." And I was like, "Oh, this would be great." So it got me more interested because we were dating at the time. And I was like, "Oh, we could do this together. That would be fun."
And had you seen the show and the format beforehand?
I thought this was a complete different show when they told it to me.
Okay.
I thought it was, you remember the show Pros vs. Joes?
I kind of have a vague kind of recollection of what that is.
It was like professional athletes against like
normal
Joe Blows.
people.
Yeah, against normal people. And they're like things. And I was like, oh yeah. Like I'm so with this because I feel like I could beat anybody in anything.
Right.
This is maybe not the case, but that's how my mindset is. And so I was like totally thinking it was that. And my ex now, she was like, "I don't think it's that. You should check this show out. Like you should go on YouTube and watch."
And you didn't.
And I didn't for a little while. And then like a couple weeks later I did, and I was like, "Oh, this is completely wrong." Like,
And were you signed up at that point?
No. I wasn't signed up. I didn't sign my contract until 4 days before the show.
Got you.
Before we started. Before we walked in.
So you had an idea of what you were kind of walking into. But
yeah, there was a lot of once I found out there was so much drama, I was like, ooh, I don't know. And then I saw like the whole T.O. thing, and that like made me nervous.
Yeah.
But then I called Kim Glass.
Terrell Owens, yeah.
Yeah. I called Kim Glass, and she was like, no, that was just... She just explained kind of how that situation went and what happened. But I still was hesitant because I just don't like drama and reality like that. I'll do a reality show if it's a judging show.
Right.
You know, a competition show where I'm a judge, where it's really judging a talent. Talent shows, I guess.
For real.
But as far as like this, like trashing and drama, and I just wasn't into it. But then I'm so competitive.
Until you were.
Until I was.
So, like, obviously, talk us through, like, the first day on set, because we were kind of kept apart, all of the stars, until we had this, we were thrown together in a van, and then we had this meeting on the beach with all of the champs. Was there anyone at that point you were like, or was there anyone you hit it off with or you knew beforehand?
Yeah, I knew Brooke. I knew... Who else on the show? I knew Brooke. I knew of Drake, obviously. And And that's it. I mean, I knew who CT and Wes were the only champs I knew of, just because they've been doing this for 40 years.
OGs.
Yeah. And that was it. I really was to myself and was uncertain and unsure about this whole thing. So for the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 days, I stayed completely silent.
Yes, you did.
I stayed very quiet to myself.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of like wanted to sit back and watch everybody and see personalities, watch how people operated and moved, and just kind of wanted to be a watcher and take everything in. I also was very uncertain about the show still, about really being invested. I was like, okay, cool, I'll compete and that's it. Like, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not playing these politic, shady games and all this.
And then you got voted straight into elimination, straight out of the gate. Like, and I felt that literally, I think we were sat on the couch and I think Arian Foster had already been nominated by the red team. And I'm sat next to you in our kind of nominations things. We looked to each other and we what do we say?
I'm going in.
You're going. And I'm like, you're
going in.
And we suddenly realized, okay, that's the game they're playing.
Got it. This is the game they're playing. And you kind of already knew, but you still were navigating your own waters of like what you're going to do because you knew everybody. So you could have gone either way. But you kind of, but it was new for everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there were blurred lines and we didn't know how that was going to go.
Yeah.
Until that moment.
So what are you thinking at that moment when it suddenly clicks in, even before you've been nominated in, it's like, I'm going into elimination against Arian Foster, like super amazing NFL running back.
Yeah.
What the F? What are you thinking?
I guess I was just thinking, I'm just going to go in there and do my best. Like, I have a don't lose mentality. That's like deeply rooted within me, that I will die before I lose.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the mentality. I wasn't really nervous, but I wasn't confident and like arrogant either about it because it's Arian Foster. Second, I don't know what we're going to do. At this point, we just did some funny Vaseline slip and slide run up a freaking bounce house. So I don't know what the hell's about to happen. Of course, we get in there and there's baseball bats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
He's 40 pounds of muscle heavier than me, taller, professional athlete. Damn. Okay, here we go. Yeah. And for me, all I kept saying to myself is, you're not going to go home on day one. You won't. You will not go home.
And you didn't.
I didn't.
You defeated Arian Foster. How did that freaking feel?
I mean, it felt great. It felt better because it felt better to beat him for the champs and Tony's sake, because that was my mindset at the time. It wasn't to beat Arian.
Right.
Because I didn't want to beat Arian
and send him home. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to play with Arian and have him be on the same team and like rock with him. I mean, could you imagine how we could have killed?
Completely.
But for me, it was more beat the champs right now.
Right.
Burst their bubble.
Yep.
Beat them down.
Yep.
Scare Tony.
Yes.
And make all of them nervous and think twice.
And Tony was like immediately regretful. As soon as you literally swiped that bat, that last thing, and the thing fell on the floor, he was immediately on you.
On top.
What was the conversation that went between you? Because I felt like something got cut out.
Oh, for sure.
Edit wise.
Oh, all kinds of stuff got cut out.
Tell me.
He was just trying to make deals. He was trying to say it wasn't his fault. It was the other champs, and this was the plan, and he had to like stick with the rules of what they were doing.
He was backtracking.
Yeah, he was super backtracking.
Like a mother.
He said, he was like, I know, look, you're new to the show. I know how ego and temper can get involved, so you should just take a breath right now and think about what you're doing.
You were having none of it.
He's like, if you want to make this a thing and be against me and the champs, we can do that. But I would just think twice and like, really think about what you're doing right now. And I was like, bro, it's whatever to me. Like, I don't care. At this point...
See, this is the moment where I felt like, okay, Casper just got invested.
Oh, moment.
And I was just like, there was almost a change in you. In fact, the minute I knew the minute you knew you were like going into elimination, that was the point I felt like something changed in you.
That was day 2.
And I was just like, okay, Casper's in this game. And then when I saw you come out of elimination and then that whole tussle with Tony and your attitude, I was like, Casper's a killer.
Yeah.
I'm
so
like,
day 3, that's my new leaf.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm in. And it's funny because Trish actually said that today. Trish and the other execs at Buddha Murray, like the president was in there, who they both loved the show. Obviously, it's theirs. And Trish was talking about, she was like, I remember, she was like, when you won, she was like, the best thing that could have happened to you is going to elimination day 1.
Yeah.
Because she was like, it immediately made you invested in the show
Completely.
And lean in hard and go, okay, I'm here to kill.
And literally killer Casper came out. And I was just like, who's this dude? I like him. He's just like me. It was so funny. And I was just like, and at that moment I was like, okay, there's way more to you, like personality wise, than I'd ever seen in the media. And obviously I grew up in the UK, so I'd known all about your relative bits about your background, but I just didn't realize the level and depth of talent that you had athletically.
Yeah.
So like hats off. Coming from Olympia.
Thanks, vibes.
You're very welcome. Nuts. But do you feel like, obviously we then went into so I feel like you were getting, up until this point in the show, you're kind of getting a bit of stick because you kind of come across in that first thing as selfish in Release the Rainbow. So what happens is, Wes is basically coach. He's on the sidelines trying to help our team. You clip in early. What do you feel about that? So I feel like they came down hard on you there.
Yeah. In the moment, I felt really, really bad because, and I blame nobody but myself. I could easily say, Wes, you could have yelled at me like we yelled at Drake. Yeah. How it showed it on the thing. Don't clip, don't clip, don't clip.
Yeah.
And Drake didn't clip in.
Yeah.
Wes could have easily yelled at me and said, don't clip.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Right.
I don't know if that was part of the plan. I don't know if it was just forgetful. We should have been listening to the rules better. I should have thought better. I don't know. There's a million scenarios that I could have said I could have done better. And I did feel really bad about it because I think we could have done better. And I could have been a big help, especially how fast I finished. But it is what it is. And I saw the edit and I just found it funny after. Yeah. Because now going back and seeing how the edit is, I'm going to be who I'm going to be. Yeah. And they're going to paint me out to be whoever I'm painted out to be, the bad guy anyways. Yeah. So instead of all the, mind you, so even like they were saying this today too in the meeting, Trish and them were saying like, the thing about you is that you're very honest with what you're going to do. You never lied to anybody. You're never shady. You never, but.
People weren't necessarily ready for your honesty.
Yeah, but so you were very political, powerful, but you didn't lie to anybody.
Yes. And so it's like, you made it very clear with Tony from the get-go, you're going in. Yeah. And, I don't think people were ready for that level of confrontation. Yeah. And what was really interesting was I kind of feel like I, to a certain extent, play the game in the same way. Yeah. Like, I remember having conversations with Cam like, oh, you can't save me? Well, guess what? Not saving you. Yeah. Like, you're on the chopping block. Yeah. And just to let people kind of know where they stand. But I feel like in this game, I don't think they were ready for Casper.
No.
I don't think they were.
I don't think they were ready for me, and I don't think they were ready for, like, the team, like, of you and I, and then the team of the Four Corners, which I don't want to give away because I don't know when this is airing.
You can go in on the Four Corners.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready for me, and I don't think they were ready for you and I, and I don't think they were ready for Booby, myself, you, and Drake. Because that was a little powerhouse team that kind of just did really well on the show, and they have never had competition like that on that show in their 3 seasons. And that's, I think, the big problem is that everyone is these, like, scared, kind of fearful. They just get thrown in this pot and everyone scatters and just kind of, like, fend for yourself. Yeah. And the champs all play as a team and as a unit that's been doing it for a while. Yeah. So they just hunt everybody down like Hunger Games.
But it was almost like the tables were turned.
Yeah. And then they started just
crumbling.
Yeah.
This was really interesting.
But
so
that's what teamwork is. You know what I mean? And that's why, again, I felt so bad with the Rainbow Challenge.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I didn't play as a team, and I could have helped. But it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. And then our next challenge up was, and this is you getting another hard rap. And I'm going to be like real with you. I wasn't mad at you with the Rainbow Challenge at all, because I kind of understood Casper's just trying to get the job done as quickly as possible, clip in. I think we all would have been in
but also because I just got thrown in. Like, I'm trying to just
get shit done and be MVP, for real. I wasn't mad at it. But now you've seen the footage back of you playing the big emoji ball challenge where you bop Ashley in the back.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, watching it back?
It wasn't just Ashley. The first person up was Jose.
Right.
And I smashed Jose first. He was the first one. And who helped me get him out? I think it was Booby hit him after I did. And we smashed him out. He was like the first person out, I remember.
Yeah.
And then Ashley was up too. And then so-and-so was up. And so-and-so. I didn't care if you were a girl, guy. I just knew I was fast and I had to stop people. And I know somebody wrote me on Instagram, were like, you're lucky CT didn't get you on that bouncy ball thing, because he would have smashed you. And I was like, yeah, he would have had to catch me first, like everybody else.
You're the only person that scored.
Yeah.
And so what
I like
struck
that they didn't show the one.
Oh,
That they didn't show Tori.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't real.
No, it wasn't. And so, you know, you were the only one that scored in that challenge, but you were also the only one that had strategy.
Yeah.
And what do you kind of lend that to?
Everyone had their own strategy, but I just
executed.
I had one from the beginning, and I told a couple people, but they didn't want. They had their own, so they were going to go with it. And then, kind of watching everybody through, I was like, nothing is working. Like, it's too much commotion, too much cluster. It's too much. There's not enough room to run. I don't care how fast, how jukey, how strong. You're going to get stopped. I go look at CT. It was too clustery. He even gets stopped. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he can run through everybody.
Completely.
So my strategy was to kick the ball out away from everyone.
Open up the field.
And then run out to the 50-yard line. Run backwards away from the goal line. Open everybody. Yeah. And then open the field and have real room to go. And knowing that everyone's going to run towards me. Yeah. And then I'm going to have real windows to get through because I know I'm faster than everybody on that field.
Yeah, and it worked.
It worked.
And it worked.
Wait, did you see the Twitter of Ashley?
No, I didn't. What does it say?
She was the first person that tried to get me.
Mm-hmm. She came after you on Twitter?
No. The actual... she tried to come after me in the game. Someone said, why you gotta send Ashley to the Shadow Realm?
Oh, I saw that. And you just basically palm her off. And she just goes, that is a hot mess.
And she tried to get me so bad too. Yeah. I got her verse.
Right. So she was coming in hot. And
hilarious.
Yeah.
And you know what I did different too? Yeah. I'm the only person that held the ball with one hand. Everyone held it with two hands so they can hold it tight and they can run it and bounce off people. Yes. But again, you're going to fall and you're going to get bounced harder. Yeah. Because you're going to get all over the place. And so for me, how big those other balls are, using one hand to swipe people, it throws off their balance just like that.
Why didn't you tell us?
I didn't know. I didn't know
until you were in it.
Till I was in it, and I felt more comfortable. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run like this. I'm gonna run like a receiver. Yeah, you know what I mean? Instead of like a running back with both hands on, because there's people that are bigger than me, and there's more people, so I'm gonna get smashed. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna run it like
dope, pure strategist. And one thing I guess and I don't want to go, too deep in on this because some of it hasn't been shown yet. But one thing that ends up cropping up is a change of play. And you and I end up working together. How did you feel about that, Casper?
I felt great.
Now I'm in the room.
I felt great. I felt, pure transparency. I felt like, shit, I have a girl on my team. No matter how good of an athlete you are, when it's Booby and Wes and Tony and CT, I know that there's disadvantages. Yeah. Booby and Wes were the stronger team in my opinion, because the professional basketball player,
And
they have the
person
height
been
and the
here
speed,
before.
and then Wes is a phenomenal athlete all around as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, for me, I was like, Wes is my biggest competition on this show.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
All
Not
around?
CT? Not
No,
Tony?
because I think I could beat CT at a lot of things. But I feel like CT could beat me at a lot of things.
For real.
But Wes would be like, he would be even on damn near anything we did.
Yeah, got
You know what I mean?
He was kind of much more skilled, wasn't he? He had
well-rounded.
baby football and
Yeah.
athletically.
Yeah, and like a speed thing, I would smoke CT. You know what I mean? Or if it was like the jumping thing we did, you know what I mean? I know I'd be him. Those things kind of like with Wes, those would be much tougher. You know what I mean? But if it was like a wrestling challenge or popping tags, CT would eat me alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because just the weight and strength alone.
For real.
So it's things like that, and he's incredible at puzzles too.
Yes.
So it's like
he's like a decathlete.
Yeah.
He's almost a decathlete.
Yeah.
You
So
could go
things,
so far as to say.
right. So things
But
like
not
that
quite.
you never know. So but like those two were the only real competition that I felt like was on the show for me, that on the champ side that I would ever have to go against.
Yeah.
But Wes was like the one. But Wes was so entertaining.
He
At
was
the same
almost
time,
value, wasn't he?
He was
Completely
funner to
different
keep
from that.
around.
I know, and torture a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, the torturing him was genius. It was so
loved it.
fun.
I love my Wes.
And it's funny because we actually, him and I speak like once a week.
Yeah.
Whether, it's about the show or just life or whatever, shooting the shit. But I'm actually friends with Wes, you know what I mean? And Tori as well. Those are the only people I actually talk to from the show. So like anytime he's trashing me like extra hard on the show, he'll text me and be like, I'm sorry. He'll be like,
He
they're
talks
using,
a lot of shit, and then he comes at you in your DMs. Or
he'll be
whatever,
like, no, he'll text me. He'll be like, they're using all the bad edits.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, bro. Or Tori as well, you know what I mean? And I know that they're not vindictively trashing me to be mean. They're just talking trash. His ego is blah, blah, because that's the game.
Yeah.
Whereas like other people are really hatefully being nasty.
Is there anything that you would have done differently?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Oh, man. Okay.
How far do we go?
All right, we can go as far as you want. So a couple things. Like one, my whole attitude on the show.
Yeah.
I would have just leaned in. I wouldn't have done...
You'd not been such an asshole.
No, I would have been way tougher. I would have just been more
Really?
open with everything and not so on phone calls, text messages, hotel rooms. I would have just been like, I feel like instead of playing like king and queen with you, I played like you queen and me like knight. You know what I mean? And just like...
So you'd have thrown me up as the kind of fucking head on the chopping block every time.
No,
Because
no.
I
I just feel like you got more like queen role. You know what I mean? I played more like, hey, I'm here as an assassin.
Yeah.
I come in and kill.
Point and fire.
And I leave. You know what I mean? She's, you know what I mean? But I feel like our minds together were very like king and queen, and like kill is just I didn't want to be portrayed something in the edit, in the drama of all of it. So I stayed very behind the scenes, which you had already done and you didn't mind. So you were like, yeah, I'll be the
bad guy.
yeah, I'll be the
take
bad
this
guy
one.
on camera. And I didn't want to be a bad guy on camera.
Yeah. So
which,
are you saying if you'd go back, you would?
yeah, because I'm a bad guy on camera anyway. So it doesn't even matter. I would have just been more open about it. Instead of like hiding.
Yeah. So you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Casper's such a villain, man.
Also, I would have, I think I would have thrown CT in
Right.
over Devin.
Right. So
Just
was the
to
move.
try.
So that was the move where I was literally like, and I spoke to Booby about this as well. I was literally like, guys, we're here. We might just be on this show once.
Right.
But the way I kind of live my life, it's like, shoot your shot.
You get one shot.
You get one shot.
like
And
it's
so the
literally
way-
you get one headshot.
Yeah.
You miss.
Yeah.
He disappears.
So that when, like, obviously this week that's just been and gone, when we had the trade, and I was like, Ashley,
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I'm taking that
No,
chance.
but that was like.
But I feel like we didn't. I feel like we maybe missed the mark. But then what we
Not with
ended
Ashley.
no, with
Oh,
not putting
Ashley's
CT
great.
in, because in fact, but then Booby pointed out, look, if we'd have gone CT and
we would have lost Wes possibly.
We'd have lost Wes.
And that's what I thought about, because then we lose Wes, then we could lose challenges.
Yeah.
And then we lose all kinds of power plays that we had and positions. Also, Booby would have chose me.
That's right. And I would have
been probably with someone else, Ashley or someone.
Yeah.
And there's a guaranteed chance you would have lost.
Yeah.
Against a bunch of boys.
Yeah. For real. For real.
So, it's things like that is just, I feel like it played right. But at the same time, I do have faith in Wes. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe he could have beat him in that challenge.
Yeah, no,
in that
for
elimination.
Real.
I don't know.
think it would have been so. I think that the difficulty is CT is such a unit. So if he got the better, then he could
that would have been the
dominate.
challenge.
That's true.
They could have changed it because they would have been like, this is not fair. There's too much weight difference. This will never be right. Yeah. And Wes could have maybe sent him home, and that would have been epic. You know what I mean? On like that would have been...
So many different levels.
Oh, yeah, for the show alone. Yeah. On the rivalry alone and the history.
That's what I love about the challenge.
But I feel like we played very smart and right, and we kept Wes, and he sent someone packing, and he stayed on the team for what we needed, and it all worked out for us.
For real.
You know what I mean?
Would you do it again?
The show? Yeah.
Wicked. I'm basically, my criteria is I'm only going again if Casper's on it. Casper the killer. Because honestly, I felt like in terms of athletically, I felt like I'd met my match. I was just like, this guy is an animal. Like, yeah. Definitely.
And if I would go on again, I would train more.
Completely. There was
and
so
not
much
that I
more.
wasn't out of shape, because I was.
But there was so much more kind of endurance and stuff like that that we could have worked on.
Again, it's like you can't really train for the show, but because I do so much like random things in training. Yeah. Like I had an upper hand on a lot of people.
Because you had a broad perspective of skills in which to pick from.
Yeah. And that's, I'm not saying that's not fair, because anything's fair, but it's like, it puts me at an advantage where other people don't. But people, when they walk in, they're like, it's dancer. Yeah. Which is old. Yeah. Which it has nothing to do with anything, because dancing doesn't make you any kind of shape. Yep. It's my training. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's my athleticism. Like, I take my dogs on mountain runs all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm able to run mountains.
Good old Boxy.
Yeah. I love that. I love that she was in the show.
I know.
Her little montage.
Mascot.
It's so cute.
So moving on to dance, and this is obviously just one of the things that you're really skilled at. How did you, because you played a number of sports, didn't you? Yeah. Tell us what you were engaged in when you were younger.
I played football. I ran track. I wrestled.
Wouldn't know.
Yeah. And then I did all kinds of like extreme sports. Outside of school, I played basketball. I snowboarded, I wakeboarded, I skateboarded,
basically
I rollerbladed. Yeah, there's like not really much that I wasn't good at. I was never MVP though. I never was amazing at anything. I was just good at everything. And as I got older, I got more athletic. Yeah. And as I got out of high school, I got way more athletic and more athletic and more athletic. And it's crazy. Like, people have their prime in their high school or their college.
Do you think you were a late bloomer?
Yeah. And I just keep getting more athletic as I get older.
Oh, God, yeah. Every time I see you, I'm like, damn, he just got more athletic. Is this even possible?
I hate her.
So when did you realize that dance was your thing? When you have so many different things to choose from.
I was going to be a firefighter. That was like the goal.
Mm-hmm. And now you just light fires.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Like that, so I don't smack all over this mic. Yeah, I saw a dance called crump dancing. Mm-hmm. And it's just a type of freestyle that was started in like South Central Compton. Mm-hmm. It's very aggressive. It's like a very African American thing. Yep. And I saw it. I fell in love with it. The energy was huge. And it just kind of took over me. And I did it every day. Yeah. And I was made fun of because I wasn't black. And I was
so you like white
given
boy
the
dancing.
nickname of Casper.
So that's where it came from?
Yeah.
So it was Casper the ghost?
Yeah, and it was like more of like teasing me.
And how did you feel about that?
I hated it at first. And I was just made fun of every day. And I literally trained like 5 to 7 hours a day, 7 days a week in my room in my mirror by myself. And I'd have friends that I'd train with here and there.
Okay. So why by yourself?
Just because I didn't, like, no one really took me in. You know what I mean? I had some friends, but for me, it was like, just train yourself. Train. Get better. And people make fun of me was lighting my fire.
Yeah. So was it like so that when you could actually come out of your room, you were on the same level, if not better?
Well, on any kind of level. Like, I was just terrible. And
is it as bad as my salsa?
I don't know if it was that bad. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, go on.
I didn't have a Fernando, though.
Oh, Fernando. He's my salsa partner, by the way. He's like in his 60s. Carry on.
So one day, my first battle, like my first real battle at this event I signed up for, and I had a clique and a crew that I was with, and it clicked. And something really clicked, and I was amazing.
So you became the performer.
That was the moment that then I just kept battling, kept going, and then became like one of the best in the world, and like really respected in the street game of that movement, of that freestyle, of crump dancing. And then I got into this thing called clowning, which this guy Tommy the Clown, and traveled the world with him, which was much more entertaining than crumping.
What was clowning?
It's crump dancing, but it's like way more entertainment to it. So you do other types of dances and like.
So it's more theatrical?
Yeah, and you wear like face paint, and it's like a clown. You're an entertainer at that point. Whereas crumping is very gritty and rough and raw, and you're not entertaining.
Yeah.
And this was like way more commercial side. And so, but that side took me around the world, and I got to travel and do that. And then I got signed to an agency. I did everything you can do as a dancer right away. From commercials to movies to TV shows to tours to videos.
Was there anyone encouraging you? Like, who was supporting that journey?
Yeah. My mom was just such a big supporter because she loves dance. I think I was 19 when I entered 18, maybe 18 or 19, when I joined a competition for Debbie Allen. She's like this big choreographer and has a studio, famous. And I joined this competition, which was like this competition to the top tournament, should I say. And there are, I don't know, 600 to maybe 1,000, 5 to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And it was just whoever got to the top was $1,000 cash prize.
Yeah.
And I won it. And I got a check for $1,000.
My voice is absolutely mashed. That was a yay! Wicked.
I had never seen money like that in my life.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy.
No, but you're a kid. You're like 18, 19.
Oh yeah, and like I grew up like poor. So so I came home and I was so excited. And I showed my mom and she was like, "Wow!" And I was like, "I'm gonna make this career, Mom. Like I'm gonna do this." She was like, "Okay." So I just kind of like threw firefighting down the drain and went on with that, and then signed with the agency and did everything you could do. Like I backtracking going forward, and then I started assisting this big creative director and choreographer, Frank Gatson, who creative directed for Beyonce and Destiny's Child and many more since the beginning of Beyonce and Destiny's Child. So I started choreographing for him for all kinds of people, including Beyonce and X Factor and commercials and all kinds of stuff. And then Simon Cowell, I started working with him with X Factor winners on the UK. And then I started working with like little artists and bigger and bigger and bigger and choreographing. And then I started creative directing and acting and kind of started going back and forth. And that's where I am now.
So talk to me about Nicki Minaj, Anaconda.
Oh, yeah. 2014.
If you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
If you don't
know.
So
you choreographed the whole music video, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Literally shebang.
Shebang.
Did you just go for it? How did it come about?
Well, it's funny how it came. So I got a call from a producer I know, and she goes, "Hey, are you available on these dates?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's the point?" She goes, "Music video." I said, "Cool." She goes, "Colin Tilley's shooting it." Great. Who's the artist? And she goes, "Nicki Minaj." And I'm like, "Oh, very cool."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Great."
Really? You didn't just go, "Oh, very cool."
No.
You were like, "Fuck."
No, I had been choreographing I had already been creative directing.
For real?
Like for many people already.
Like but you worked with Nicki before that?
I had when I danced, like back in the day.
Got you.
But I hadn't worked with her like as a choreographer, creative director. But I had already worked with so many people at that point. But I was still very excited because Nikki's Nikki. And I was like, cool, send me the song. And she was like, I can't. And I was like, what do you mean you can't? How do I choreograph? And she said, well, they needed to choreograph some stuff, and then you'll get the song on the set. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, wait, call me. And so we talked, and I was like, they were like, they're so worried about the song getting leaked that they don't want to send it out.
Did she not just jump on the phone and go, my anaconda don't?
Yeah, no, she definitely did.
My anaconda don't.
No, because I didn't know. They didn't tell me anything.
Oh my God.
I didn't even get a treatment. So I'm like, okay, I can't do it. It's impossible to choreograph something without hearing the song. Okay, so I'm like, tell Nikki to call me. You know what I mean? And I've seen her here and there at award shows or whatnot, and I say hi, like just through passing. And I knew her boyfriend at the time, Safari. And I was like, just tell Nikki to call me. Like, call me. Simple. And we'll talk about it. And so she calls me. They were like, hey, we'll set up this call. She calls me and she goes, hey, look, I can't take the chance to get this getting leaked out. Like, I can't. I was like, Nikki, I can't choreograph without hearing this song because I don't know what it sounds like at all. It's impossible.
Exactly.
Just impossible.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know me well enough, Nikki, to know me in this industry and who I am and just the public eye to know that I would never let anything happen.
Yeah.
Also, I understand the public eye on a very high level.
Yep.
I won't let anything happen to your song.
Yeah.
It won't come from me.
Just trust me and
trust
let me
me.
do.
I promise you that this song will come straight to me. No one will get it. No one will hear it.
So she didn't have the track.
So she goes, okay. She gave me the track. She goes, this is honestly very close to my heart. Please keep it safe. I said, I got you.
When you first heard it?
I was like, ugh. I was like, this is going to be a hit.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I immediately call these two girls that I work with. One, they both work with me on choreography and production.
And you were like, you.
I was like, yeah, Andy and this girl, Jana. And I've known both of them forever. And I was like, girls, we're going to the studio tonight.
We're going off.
And we're gonna get it.
Oh my God.
And literally, we got the track. We went to the studio that night, and then we had rehearsal at 8 a.m. the next morning, or 10 a.m. Is when Nikki showed up.
Yep.
So everyone else had like rehearsal at 8 or whatever. So it like literally fell out of my body. And mind you, I don't move like a girl, but I can see it in my head.
Don't lie.
Okay. But I can see things and I can move like how I want it to. And then I'd be like, hey, Jenna, you know how like you go like this? And she's like
Stand
this?
up. Give us a.
No, because I can't do it.
Because I can't do it.
Yeah, but I can't either.
Come on.
Well, I would
Give us
try to
example.
motion the stuff.
Which is what?
And she would do it.
I'll do it with you.
Do it.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is right now. I'm just saying in general.
Whatever.
And she would do it. You're not going to embarrass me. And she would do it. I'd be like, perfect, that's it. Okay, so we're going to go ba, 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 ba.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to this.
How's it go?
Yeah, just like that.
Okay. Go
and
on.
then, and it just kind of put it together really fast. And then the next morning, went to rehearsal and choreographed some more.
So when Nikki saw it, what was her reaction?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We choreographed the day before because then I had the audition.
Yeah.
No, lies. I choreographed a little something for the audition. Very tiny. And then I had the audition, had to send the girls pictures into Nikki at the audition.
Yeah.
And she had to approve them one by one.
Got you.
I had to send full body shots, booty shots, like face shots, everything. She wanted like to know that the booties were great, like everything was great.
So when
they had
she
to be,
saw
like,
the choreography for the first time, what was her reaction?
So when she came into the room, I said, I was like, okay, so you want to see it? She was like, yeah. So she sat down and she saw it for the first time and she lost it. She like ran around the room. She was laughing. She was smiling. She was so excited, which made me excited. She was like, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Amazing.
So she absolutely was very, very happy with it, which made me really happy.
Wicked.
And just seeing her smile like that on something that was so close to her heart.
For real.
And something so big to her made me really happy that I can bring that alive to her.
For real.
In a visual way. And so we jumped right into rehearsal. I was like, okay, let's start learning. And she was like, okay, let's do it. Let's send all the girls out. I was like, no, let's keep them in. She was like, I usually like just learn by myself.
1-to-1.
Yeah. And I was like, it's better. You'll learn faster and it's better energy because you'll get everyone doing it with you. She's like, okay. And I love that she really kind of like had
open.
faith.
Yeah.
And it was open to me because we hadn't worked together before.
Right.
And she was kind of really just trusting me in my process.
Amazing.
And we sat down after because we were shooting the next day. And we sat down after rehearsal. She goes, hey, what are you doing for the next 10 months? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, she was like, I want you to do creative direction for me.
Tour.
Yeah. Well, it's everything. Like,
Wicked.
when a big single like that is lined up, you have all kinds of stuff.
Amazing.
So she was like, I don't want you to just choreograph for me. I want you to be my creative director.
Amazing.
So I was like, great. And from there, like, we did the video. Then we did, like, MTV VMAs, which she opened the show. And we did Anaconda. Then we did, like, EMAs, which is European Music Awards. Then we did Billboards, and we did a bunch of other videos. We did Pink Print Tour. We did all kinds of stuff. So I was really part of her process. I mean, I was literally with her for 10 months. And
incredible.
Talked to her almost every day.
That must have been an amazing experience.
It was really fun. I really, really like Nikki. She's a super dope artist. Sometimes I know what it's like to have certain reps or have people say things out of context about you, and then it's just rumors and people just...
So you feel she gets maybe like a bad rap?
Sometimes she can, but also, like, I know if you're in tech rehearsal at an awards show and you're got a lot on your plate and you're nervous or you're trying to get stuff right and someone says, hey, or people are wanting pictures or if someone's messing your lights up or your video or things are going wrong and you need this to be right and you maybe are not the friendliest or you're kind of in the zone of your thing, people can just be so nasty and word of mouth. When I thought she was so great. I really enjoyed working with her. I think we had a great working relationship, and I also am a fan of her music, which makes it much easier.
Who else are you a fan of right now? Who would be, if you could do the same job again for an artist right now, who would that be?
I would love to work with Nikki again. I love Miguel.
Yep.
I really love Miguel. I really am a big fan of Maluma. He's a big Latin artist.
Yep.
He's also a friend of mine, but I would love to do his show. It's all Spanish.
Have you told him? Is that now?
Yeah, but he's already on tour. He has his own show already. It's massive. There's a few artists I would definitely like to work with. I like to work with more like pop stars.
Yeah.
And like big commercial.
Yeah.
So
here's one for you. Obviously, Childish Gambino literally just dropped This Is America video, which I think it kind of trivializes dance and the dance community. Like, it's almost like you're dancing around while all this shit is going down in America. Was he throwing shade at the dance community?
No.
Do you think it was more a commentary on society?
I don't think it was shade at all towards the dance community. I think that it was dancing had such a big part to his video and his storytelling because it was choreography. And whether it was choreography of dancing or choreography of camera movement or people movement, there was so much going on in that video and such a big story being told that it had to be choreographed so perfect.
When you first saw it, what were you thinking?
I was like, whoa, this is aggressive. This is going to make some noise.
Yeah. The brutality of it.
And it did. Yeah, it just told such a story. Yeah, I think it was a very creative video. I love that he has like alter egos of like Donald Glover, who's an incredible actor.
Yep.
And has really been killing it on his own show. It's called Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also
That's got to be due a second season now, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's in such big movies.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't play huge roles in big movies, but he plays a prominent part.
And he plays them well.
And he plays them so well. Different characters, and he's so articulate and well spoken and such a good actor.
Have you watched
Obviously,
his stand up?
No, of course he's a comedian too.
Oh my goodness, it's on Netflix.
God,
oh my
they can
god,
do everything.
He's hilarious.
Damn.
He's like, and the thing about him is he's almost like he's a little bit of everything. He's like the nerdy black kid that we don't see enough of.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I don't feel
but we see enough of.
Yes.
Right now, because I feel like
now we see him.
Yeah, and
like,
he's
but
like
all of his skills and
like,
everything.
Okay,
he is.
I'm opening the doors, guys. Come on in. You know what I mean? And he's like, it seems like he's taking it at his speed. And then he plays Childish Gambino, which and he grows out this beard and he's like a different character.
Oh my god!
And he's like an artist, and then he's
incredible.
He's a comedian.
That was the worst rendition. I'm sorry, I absolutely murdered your song.
It was really good. No. Your singing skills have really been doing well.
Bless you. You're too kind. So, how obviously you've been out in LA, guess from the get go. But how long were you working before you really kind of caught a break? Like, how long did it really take for you? Do you feel career-wise to kind of catch fire? Right
away. I got lucky. I got signed to an agency right away. Like literally as I was coming off the road with Tommy, this agency, someone walked me into a dance agency, the biggest one at the time, one of the biggest ones, there's like 2 or 3, still is. And it was a Clear Talent Group. Yeah. And they were like, they saw a video of mine. Yeah. And they were like, hey, here's a contract.
For real.
Which people will go to dance agency audition for these agencies. And there'll be like 700 people that audition maybe twice a year. Yeah. And they'll sign maybe 3, 4 tops out of all fields of dance.
So you must have been exceptional.
I was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really good. And then that they sent me an audition that first week for Sean Paul video. Yeah. And I booked it. Wow. And it never stopped.
Amazing.
It literally, I had no training. I had no technical training, no anything. But I started dating this girl who was a choreographer, like the top class a lot at the time. And she was like, come take class, learn how to do choreography. And this guy, Dave Scott, this big choreographer, was like, you got to do more than crump. You got to be better.
So you've got to add to your skills.
He was like, you got to be able to do choreography. You can't just crump. And I was like, okay. So I started realizing the best dancer is the most well-rounded dancer. Same with anything. The best athlete is the most well-rounded. The best actor is the most well-rounded. You're going to work more when you have more skills, which proves in the challenge. You do better when you have more skill sets. Yep. So for dancing, for life, that's just kind of like been my motto for life. But for dancing, it really helped because I was like, okay, cool, I can crump dance. I'll learn how to pop. I'll learn how to house. I'll learn how to break dance enough. I'll learn how to tumble. I'll learn how to do choreography. And I'll learn different styles. And I'll be very entertaining and charismatic on stage, which really sets apart from, there's really good class taker dancers that are great in a class. But on stage, they're not charismatic. They're not a star. They're very flat on stage. Yeah. And that like was the big difference between the people that worked and didn't. And so once I booked that Sean Paul video, it was nonstop. It was like literally, I stopped auditioning maybe a year and a half in or 2 years, and I was like, I'm never gonna. I don't need to audition because I was just directly booking jobs nonstop. And I just
talking about being nonstop, you then entered into this super high profile relationship. That must have been lit. So you're popping, like careers popping. You then, in this relationship, which, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was like, I had been choreographing for Beyonce and X Factor and Simon Cowell and these different artists.
And it doesn't really get, bigger than when you're working with Simon Cowell and that music
Mike
and that
Posner,
genre. Yep.
I was doing, I was working with a lot of people at the time, and I was still dancing every once in a while, here and there. So I hadn't quite transitioned all the way yet. Yeah. Because not only did I still love dancing, but I wanted to make it, I had a plan to make a full, proper transition. I didn't want to quit dancing and be irrelevant until I was fully immersed into being a successful choreographer.
Yeah. So do
that
you
worked
feel
very
like
well.
that, when you were thrust obviously into the limelight, did that then accelerate the trajectory and your transition? Or did it
No, I
have a
had
negative
already
impact?
been going. And it was already kind of in the movement. And when I got thrust in the limelight, it was, for me, it was navigating waters. And I'm very spongy. So I'll sponge to people, like knowledge. So if there's something that I can learn, I'll learn it. I'll listen, I'll watch, I'll take advice. So instead of going very many different routes on how I could have played the limelight, I played it very how I should have, which was very graceful and gracious and quiet.
So this is what I find really interesting, because like upon meeting you, you are alpha.
Yeah.
Like you are super alpha male. And I can't, like, in my mind, I'm like, how do you navigate a relationship with a really kind of successful woman? You say like you're a sponge. Is that like a nurturing and a learning experience? Like there are lots of people where that would kind of rub against.
No, I was like a sponge, like her manager, her like producer, her on how to navigate something that I was very lost in. Like, so the scrutiny that I got on social media and TV and magazines and friends and family and people coming out of the woodworks, whether it's scrutiny or people asking for things or wanting to get close to me, or it felt almost like zombies, just like everyone coming after me at the same time.
How do you cut through that noise?
Exactly. So it was how to do that. And am I gonna try to do something that I don't know how, or I've never done, or am I going to listen to people that have been doing this for many years and are smart and successful and that don't have a bad rep or tainted rep, and that are good people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that have good morals and good standards. So one of the biggest things was ignore everything.
Yeah.
Ignore
Rather
comments.
than react.
Yeah, don't react. Don't react out of temper, out of spite, out of revenge. Don't respond. Don't read comments. Those were things I was told right away. So, mind you, I had to learn the hard way a couple of times.
Because I'm kind of like, I feel like it's in your nature and in your blood. You're just
fight back.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, but you can't. That's a losing battle.
For real.
No matter how strong you are. So it's like you have to read sometimes. Like I read a few comments sometimes in the beginning, and I was like, wow. This hurts.
What was the worst thing you read?
I don't know, like just trash gold digger or things like that were just so far-fetched and were that untrue, of people that don't know you that just trash you. So I was like, okay, like don't read comments. Got it. They told me already.
101.
But I did it anyways. Right. So it's like these 101 things that you stand by. Also kind of, I just learned how to live, and I've been coming out of it lately, but I kind of got used to learning how to live like a little bit more in the shadows of like keeping my head down, like when in public, like wearing hats and glasses when I go out.
Say, like this, being thrust into the media limelight, like you are a person who is full of life, but then I remember meeting you first on set and you were like hat down, and I felt like that everywhere you go you must be recognised. And I feel like you're a person that is naturally hugely outgoing. Yeah. But then there's almost this private and protective side to you. And I feel like, is that, being in that relationship, did it have that kind of negative, more private, did it make you feel more like protective of yourself?
Protective of myself, my privacy, my relationship, my family, which was family of her, friends, my actual mother, my brother, my sisters, whomever. Yeah. So it's just, I had to learn how to know that my inner circle needed to be like much more protected and walls up and private. Yeah. So I just had to learn how to do that. And it's crazy because like, I remember when I went to like Orlando with my brother, Orlando Studios, Universal. Not that I don't think I'm any kind of celebrity or any kind of like famous person at all, but
you are though. I mean, I know of you back in Homegirl in UK.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm like, okay, who's this little bit hot totty?
But I went to Universal a couple years ago with my brother, and I had a hat on, and it was very like low, and I had my glasses, and I find myself, I don't even notice it anymore, but I'm trying to get much better at it, but I found myself just walking with my head low, like my head more to the floor when I walk instead of like very up.
Yeah.
And that was over the years of kind of just, when I'm in public places, just you never stop and you never go backwards because you get just caught up. Well, it was.
You know what I mean? I kind of feel like.
Well, now
take that out. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm like that more.
Lean in. It is what it is, isn't it?
I lean into it now, like, and not really care, and but in the time, it's like you can't stop.
Yeah.
You have to keep moving because you stop and you open your eyes or turn around and there's 400 people behind you.
Yeah.
Like in a crowd circling, and it becomes very dangerous and a hazard. So it became a very like big security thing too. So you always have to keep moving. So whether or not I was at that capacity or not, which I wasn't, it became habit.
Yeah.
Because that's what you were always doing and always did. So you kind of just, I don't know. I feel like I navigated everything really well.
Yeah.
I also kept my own career and kept my life with my own brand and my own career. So I didn't get, I didn't lose anything.
Right.
As far as I didn't lose myself. I didn't lose my own career. I was very egotistical and prideful with doing my own thing and not wanting help ever with anything.
Yep.
I know, like when I started choreographing for her, like my first video I choreographed for, it got nominated for a VMA.
Boo.
Choreography.
Oosh.
Which a lot of people don't know. And a lot of people are like, oh, he's so lucky. He is choreographing because
But you're still doing the
dating.
work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's what people don't know is like because it is behind scenes.
Yeah.
And because not like, hey, this is this. People are like, oh, the only reason you're doing that is because you're dating. No, it's because I was good. Yeah. Which is why I got nominated out of the hundreds of videos that year.
Real.
Bruno Mars beat me that year.
Boom.
For Treasure.
To be honest, you can't really.
Well, he choreographed himself.
Fair play.
Of course he's going to win.
Yeah.
Yes, keep talking.
Okay. But, so yeah, it was like things like that. And then I did that for a little while and then I kind of just wanted to do my own thing as far as really just
So I've got
keep it separate.
Scenario for you. Like your girlfriend's worth, absolutely minted, worth 350 mil, let's say. This is just a scenario.
Right, this is a scenario.
Yeah. In cash, in the bank. Who's paying for In-N-Out Burger?
Me. Every time.
Oh. So you like a traditional gentleman?
Oh, super. I pay for everything.
This is true, actually. This is true.
Yeah, like everything. Like we can go out to dinner for like, it'd be like a $3,000 bill.
Yeah. What if it's a $3,000 bill, you got $2,500 in your bank account.
But I never had $25 in my bank account.
What if it's a $150,000 bill and you got $120 in your bank account?
Didn't have it.
I love it.
Well, because I know there was a lot of situations like that where like a lot of people would be invited or whatever and then no one, this is what kind of happens with celebrities too, of like no one picks up the bill.
Yeah.
And I'm very like gentleman. And so I would just be like, no, I got it.
Did you ever get yourself into a tricky situation where you're like, I got it, but like the hand shaking as you handed over the card?
Not where it was like, oh, I don't have it. But there was many times where I'd be like, fuck. Like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not friends with these people.
All of their freaking
I'm
dinner.
paying for all these, like, I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
She doesn't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
All these people order champagne and, like, wine and these drinks, and then, like, they want a free meal. And then I'm like, I got it. You know what I mean? So there was, like, many situations like that. But,
so, like,
aside from that, no.
Got you. Fair play.
Yeah. There was more situations of, like I find myself spending out of what I should have been living in.
Right.
You know what I mean? If she would go to Versace and spend blank amount of dollars, and I'd be like, cool. If she's doing that, I can buy $8,000 jacket.
Yeah.
What am I doing buying $8,000 jacket? But I would do that all the time. You know what I mean? $3,000 shoes, $8,000 jacket, $5,000 bag, whatever, all the time, because I was making such good money.
Yeah.
And I make good money with these artists.
It's almost like habit, isn't it? Like I got into it. I remember when I was making money from track, like my spending just went up, and then there just came a point where I was like, "What
are you
the
doing?
F?"
Yeah.
Like all of my assets are in my wardrobe.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No.
Yeah. Luckily, I bought a house.
Right.
Like my grandma was like, buy house, and I had one really, really big year, and that's when I bought a house.
Yeah. Good job.
At 26. Yeah. And it was like not a tear down, but it had really good bones, but TMZ did a big thing on it. They were like, this is trash.
Casper is a trash can.
But it's crazy. And those were comments I read too. Those were like some comments I read.
Like you've put your life's work into that.
No, it was $760,000.
Yeah.
And people were like trashing me for buying a $760,000 house.
At 26.
And I'm like, at 26, and I'm like, oh my God, all of you live in apartments. Or like,
right.
nobody, like none of you have these kind
Get
of.
off my balls.
Yeah. And then I redid the house. And now it's like, it's like 1.1, and I've really put a lot of work in it. But still,
Ching, ching.
and people still trash. And I'm like, I live in $1 million house.
So when do we get an invitation to come over?
Tonight.
Because I'm not going to lie, you've been sliding in my DMs all week.
Wow.
All week. But question is, who's sliding in yours?
Ooh.
Come on, I want to see.
All kinds
Oh
of
my
people.
God. Pass over your phone.
No.
Oh,
No, I will not.
come on. Just throw us a bone. Just one.
No.
Just one.
I keep it private.
See from here, it's pinging off. His phone is pinging.
It's
off.
not. She's lying. There's nothing.
Okay, are women like...
I don't do notifications.
No, I've noticed that. I haven't noticed.
Text notifications come in, but nothing else.
Yeah. I want to know,
Crazy.
do you think women are thirstier than men on the old gram? Because let's face it, all of the action goes down in the gram nowadays. I don't know how like Match.com and that
On the
swipey gram on the Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how those dating apps work because I feel like all of the action goes down on the gram. Who's thirstier, in your opinion, men or women?
I think men still.
Yeah.
I think women are very
thirsty. You know how
thirsty.
many DMs you ping out a day.
Well, I think women are very thirsty, but I think men are just they're animalistic. You know what I mean? We are like men are different biologically bred.
What?
And just we are different.
What's the wildest thing?
The wildest?
That you've received via DM.
Oh, everything.
Show me it.
Oh no, I delete. I trash.
Don't lie.
I swear to God, I decline
got a whole
anything
folder.
that's trash. So like in my request,
What's the wildest?
girls send me pictures of nudes. Guys send me pictures of nudes.
God.
Girls will write the craziest things. I want to swallow your kids. Like, it's disgusting. I decline anything that's not like anything that's negative or trash. I decline it.
But you read it first.
Oh, I have to know that it's negative.
Love it.
If it's a picture and it says like content, whatever, and you have to tap
Content
it and
blurred,
it's blurred, I don't even open it. I'll decline
Really?
it because
Oh, no,
I know it's trash.
I'm opening those ones every time. I'm having a little look and then I'm passing around, showing my friends if it's any good or whatever.
No, it's trash.
Yeah,
That's because you're a dirtbag. You're a dirtbag.
Absolutely not.
You are a dirtbag. You're an English dirtbag. I don't.
Absolutely not.
I'm like...
I actually, and I'm going to be real with you, I don't get enough of that stuff. Like all mine's really, really clean and wholesome.
Yeah,
I don't get
I like clean stuff. I like positivity. Like
Okay.
if you like look
So
at my
if someone wants to slide in your DMs and get your attention, then it needs to be something wholesome.
it could be anything that's not disgusting, raunchy, or negative.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
what? What would they have to do? Like smiley face peace sign?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, an emoji works.
Okay.
But you're not gonna get me with sending like an ass picture.
Okay.
That won't even get my
know.
attention. I'll literally decline it. And it could be a beautiful girl.
Beautiful ass.
Beautiful ass, beautiful face.
Getting
beautiful
no
everything.
response from you.
No response.
Got
Because
you.
I'm like, you're disgusting.
And more importantly, if you're sending that ass to
If
you,
you're sending the ass-
sending that ass to at least 10 other people.
And I didn't ask for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we're not even
Yeah.
talking, you're a stranger.
Yeah.
my judgment towards you is you're gross.
For real. For real. Thank you. I'm down with that.
Actually kind of a good guy.
Yeah. Talking about being a good guy,
Yeah.
let's talk about celibacy for a second.
Oh yeah.
So when we met, we were on the show.
Yeah.
You said to me, I'm celibate. And I'm like, I didn't even ask for that information. Do you know what I mean?
It had to been relevant to the conversation.
How's that going for you?
What's that?
How's the celibacy going? Like, you know, and also, so this is the thing. Clarify celibacy. Does that, like, what are the confines? Obviously
Nothing.
not having...
No, anything.
So no masturbation?
No, it's just, like, no anything.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, no kissing, no
So
nothing.
no anything with a third party?
I just know anything.
So no masturbation?
Why are you mumbling it?
Because I'm such a prude. No masturbation.
You're so far from a prude.
Stop it! It's funny because it's true. No masturbation?
No anything.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah,
Well done.
Jesus.
God. Well, at least I know that hand hasn't been. So, what were your reasons for going celibate?
I had come out of a relationship that kind of hurt. Mm-hmm. And I just needed to, I don't know. Honestly, there was no specific, like, this is going to fix anything. Mm-hmm. It was just, I had come out of a relationship that hurt, and I wasn't really attracted to anybody, or wanted to be with anybody, which kind of started it. Mm-hmm. So I got on that course, and I was like, whoa, I'm a month in. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not doing anything with anybody. So then I kept going. Mm-hmm. And then once I started getting into people and, like, being open, I still was like, you know what? I don't need sex. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm okay. And it's kind of like clearing my mind because I'm not thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not thinking about going out with a new girl every day or finding a girl or anything. And I was just really focused on, at the time, the challenge, myself, my career, just bettering myself and doing bigger things this year, and being really more entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur, and creating and owning things, and not focused on girls, which I've just, like, been in a relationship from when I was, like, 17, and I literally go out of one, go into a new one, go out of one, go into a new one, and literally no more than 2 months will go by before I'm in a new relationship, or less.
Like, you surround yourself with a lot of women, and not just women.
I don't surround myself.
You just have a lot of girlfriends. It's simple as that. Friends that are girls. How did they react to, like, you announcing, right, I'm going celibate? Even your girlfriend. I know. It's not like you put it out there on Twitter, but you must be having conversations. I mean, we had a conversation about it. There are other girlfriends in your
but we were
group.
together, like, 24/7. So I feel like it was probably relevant in the conversation that we were having. Mm-hmm.
So you weren't just going around texting your friends,
yeah,
celibate.
Yeah, no.
How were people reacting to it when you told them?
Like, the few people that I did tell, I think, like, some of my boys who knew that I was, like, hurting kind of just understood, and they were like, that's cool, man, and just supported. And then a couple of the girls that I was close with felt the same way. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like other girls, like, some were intrigued, and, like, I feel like some wanted to break it.
Right, so that you basically...
And it became, like, a little bit of a challenge for them.
Challenge.
Yeah, but it's not really a challenge because I just wouldn't hang out with people.
Right.
I was on the show.
Got you.
I was busy, didn't really have time. And so I just didn't really make an option.
Still celibate?
What's that?
Still celibate, Casper?
I'm sorry, one more time.
I'll take that as a no. What would you say you've learned?
I did 3 months.
3 months, that's good.
I think I did 3 months in, like, 4 days or 5 days.
So what would you say you learned? Obviously you said there was a time where you literally just focus on what it was you were doing.
Yeah.
What did you learn, and what would be your advice to anybody thinking about going and being celibate?
I think it's different for everybody. Mm-hmm. For me, it was really like reflection, and I guess reflection on, like, my past and my history and how I've been with women and have treated women and maybe not have been the best.
Yep.
And have always been kind of the one to hurt people. Not intentionally, but have. Not proud of that. Not happy about that. And I have a lot of regrets, and I've made a lot of mistakes and hurt people, and I feel really terrible about that. But then being in the different situation in my last one of being the one that actually got really hurt and really, really hurt And I was doing things different in that relationship than I ever had been. I had been really being really good and trying to be a better person and turn over a new leaf. And it all kind of, I feel like karma came and got me.
I was going to say,
yeah,
karma came and bit you on the ass for the sounds of it.
Karma came and bit me hard.
So like for the first time you feel like you're behaving yourself and then the like thing just
behave myself in all
on
fields.
you.
Just being a good person, a good boyfriend, a good partner, not only physically, emotionally, mentally, in all fields, and really trying to be selfless more than I ever have. And yeah, it came and karma came and got me, and it hurt. So I took that as a big, not only wake up call, but I feel like God came in and was like, hey, this is a lesson for you.
Right.
Like, you're 31 now.
See, this is
it's time to be, well, no, I was 30 at the time.
Yeah.
It's time to be better.
Yeah. What
You're
I found was,
not a kid.
for real, what I found was really intriguing about our conversation, our initial conversations regarding celibacy. I'm like, you're 30, and for a 30-year-old man to be thinking, okay, I'm going to go celibate for a period. And I remember you saying like 3 months, so well done for doing it. You're a better man than I am. But like, I thought this is a really big life decision, and it sounds like somebody who's going through a massive kind of period of growth. And so I was just like, you know what, I've got to talk. There's something going on with Casper whereby he's choosing to do things differently this time round.
Yeah. I 30 hit me in a different way. And I know that's like so unoriginal. But
Really?
I feel like it is, because everyone's like, oh, it's 30. But for me is I was like, I'm not a kid anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm a grown up, like a real adult. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I can't be an idiot.
Yeah.
I can't be selfish, and I can't, like, I got to really look at my future, and I want kids, and I want a wife, and I want to be a great man, a great husband, father, boyfriend, friend, son, brother, uncle, soon to be uncle now, with my brother. Thank you. So I just want to be a better person. So over the past, couple years, I've like been reading books, and
What have you been reading?
there's a book I really, really like called Wherever You Go, There You Are by John Cabot. It's like, wherever you go, there you are. And that's a really good one. And then there's another one called Healing the Shame That Binds You.
Deep. That sounds heavy.
That one's heavy.
I already feel weighted down just for the title.
That one's heavy. And that is I did them on audio tape. I would do them like in the gym or in the car, where I can just really just focus on the words. And that book was like, I think it was like 11 hours. And that one was long. The other one was, I think, 4 hours or 3.5 hours. But that one was really, I mean, both were heavy. The Healing Shame, the John Cabot one, Wherever You Go, There You Are. That was a really good one, because it's like being in the moment of wherever you go, there you are. And it really is as easy as the grass is greener on the other side, always greener on the other side. But it's really about the grass is greener where you water it. And if you are there, present in the moment, here, right now, that's where we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
you're
not
right
being
where you're
all
supposed to be.
Right. And it's not always being somewhere else, or wanting to be somewhere else, or wanting to do something else, or be with someone else, or anything. And it's really taking moment by moment. That doesn't mean you can't have goals and future and think ahead. But it's about really being great right now, which it serves me in acting, because you listen and then you respond, and you have a response to what someone says, instead of not listening and just talking at someone. You just want to say what you want to say, but also just kind of serves me in an everyday aspect with life, and just, it's really.
When did we become so wise, man?
I don't.
This is what 30 does to you. Shit gets real,
doesn't it?
And talk me through acting. Like, obviously you've been a dancer, choreographer, creative director. You've been acting now for how long?
I did my first movie in 2009, which...
So coming up nearly 10 years.
Yeah, I auditioned...
Decade.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, it's crazy. I hate talking about like decades. That makes me feel so...
I auditioned as a dancer, and the director asked me to audition as an actor. And I was like, I'm good. I'm okay. I don't want to act.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like, I need you to come in. And I was like, I really don't want to.
How did it go down?
Well, the choreographer was like, hey, when the director asks you to audition to act, you go audition. So I was like, all right, cool.
Do it.
I went, didn't book it, went to London to go work with Simon and X Factor. And then the director called me. He's like, hey, you want to do this movie? And I was like, yeah. It was Honey 2 at the time. The dance movie. It was Universal. It was like a $10 million movie. And he was like, you got to be home on Friday. It was Wednesday. I was like, ooh. So I literally flew myself right home and was a week late to rehearsal and everything. Jumped in, had such a good time, fun time. I was like, cool, I can act. I'm going to do this. And I didn't do it because I was choreographing and creative and just doing other things that were paying more, and I didn't really have to focus on acting. And then I got in acting probably some years down the road, and I started training. So I think probably like 2012, I started taking acting like much more serious and started training and taking classes, improv, classes in New York, private lessons, classes here, and probably took like a good 5 years. I mean, I still train. I still take, I do private lessons. And I think I'm like, I don't know, quite a handful of TV shows in and probably like 10 movies in or something. I'm shooting a TV show on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Amazing. Congrats.
Next week. So yeah.
Talk to me about your most cringeworthy casting call. There must have been that moment where you're just like, oh my God, I want the world to swallow me up.
Okay. I mean, there's one that comes to mind because it's such like a movie. But remember La La Land?
Yeah.
Do you know it well?
Yeah. One of our friends, close friends, produced it.
Okay. So you know when the girl, she's in the audition room and the lady's like, she's auditioning and the lady comes in with her lunch, the assistant, and she's like, hey, your lunch is here. And she like gets her lunch or whatever. And she's in the middle of like a crying scene.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, no, go ahead, continue. Yeah, start over. And then she goes, and then people were like, that never happens. I'm like, that shit does happen. So I had an audition maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Maybe not, probably a year and a half ago. And I don't remember where it was. At this studio location. Excuse me. I don't know what it was for. Oh yes, I do. It was a TV show. It was a pilot. It was pilot season. No, so it wasn't even that long ago. It was like 6 months ago.
What happened?
So I'm auditioning and it's like a big scene, and I'm like, I know I'm getting ready to kill it, and I get to the middle of the scene and I'm doing really well, and assistant walks in. She's like, opens the door. And she walks in, and the casting director's like, what are you doing? Type face. And she goes, so-and-so's on the phone. And she goes, so? And she goes, tell her I'll call her back. And she said it's important. She goes, I don't care. I'm in the middle of auditioning. Like I'm doing a casting right now. And she goes, okay, so sorry. And she walks out, and the lady goes, okay, I got to take this call, so let's make this quick. She goes, let's start over. And I go, I'm okay, thanks. And she goes, really? I go, yep, thanks, appreciate it. And I left.
Oh my God.
And that was like my ego of mind you, I should have just done it again.
Yeah.
And just swallow my pride. But I do have an ego in certain things because I was like, I'm not a striving, hungry actor that works at Olive Garden or Chili's, and I only say those places because I've worked there before as a waiter. But I do make really great money, and I have a really big career with creative direction and stuff. Yeah. So I was like, I don't need this. I don't need you. Nor will I be treated like this with disrespect and so I left. Yeah, and I was like, whatever. And I've never seen her again. I wouldn't remember if I saw her.
I can remember you.
Maybe she probably just brushed it off and didn't care.
Right.
But it was that was like a cringing moment for me. I was like, ugh.
Ooh.
I was like, terrible.
Got it.
It was such like a movie, like not real, but it actually did happen and was real.
So, let's say you're lining up against the actor of your dreams in a movie. Who is it? Who you cast with?
Oh.
Who would you die to work with?
Timeout. Is it 6:30 right now? So we've been here 2 hours? Hang on.
6:20.
Okay, hang on. I will... No, but...
We've got about 5 minutes left.
Key.
As long as you
Yes,
kind
I will. Yes, I will. Actually. Sorry.
of... No joke, it's fine.
Expert mode. Okay. Fuck. 8 p.m. Okay. Sorry. I'm having a birthday party tonight. Come over. You want to come over? It's not for me. It's
Are there
for...
nachos? Where is the birthday party?
It's actually, there's Mexican food. So yes, probably.
I knew it. I'm down.
It's my friend, you know my friend Lily, who I was in Orlando with?
Right.
It's her best friend Denise, who I'm really tight with.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
okay, I'll tell you about that.
They're it's her birthday, so there'll be like 40 people over there.
Okay.
But it's gonna be like a fun outside thing. Who would I work with in an ideal thing? Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Is
the weird thing you say that. You and Mark Wahlberg side by side. You're like
a little
two in
Mark
the same
Wahlberg.
people.
I know people say that.
That's you.
Forever.
That's weird.
I know they've been saying it
I
forever.
bet he can dance as well. He can dance, right?
I don't
He can
know.
Dance, of course he can.
But I love him. He's like, I've only met him a few times, but he's so nice.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, he like will literally, I'll be like, hey, how are you, Mark? You know,
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, Casper, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
Like super
You
friendly.
two are like, I'm not saying separated at birth, but there's definitely something.
Yeah, well, he's just a
energy-wise-
guy's guy. He's
Yeah.
an alpha. He's a guy's guy. He's like, and then like the director that he uses for everything, this guy Peter Berg, I know
Yeah.
really well, and he owns a boxing gym, and I box with him. Who's like, he's an ideal director to work with for me.
I feel some kind of fight movie coming on.
I hope so.
For show.
But Dwayne The Rock
yeah.
would be another incredible. Jason Statham.
Yeah.
So
you're going action. These guys
all
are
those,
like big
yeah, Vin
action,
Diesel.
testosterone.
Yeah, super.
Get pumped. Get in the gym. Let's just let boys be boys.
Yeah, but then on the other side of like dramas, like Anthony Hopkins, or like comedies like a Will Ferrell, and Kevin Hart would be ideal for me as well because
Kevin
I
just
do,
kills me, man.
Yeah, I think like action or like romantic comedies. Those are like the two lanes I do really well in.
I could see you doing that. Definitely. Talking about romantic comedies, it's 30 minutes before a raunchy scene. You're the main act. What are you doing to prepare?
What's a raunchy scene?
Like sex scene.
I've never done one. I've never done a sex scene.
Think about it.
I've done kissing scenes.
So we need to think about this because there's going to be one. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be a point where, what are you doing?
So I met with this
I'll coach
agency. Thanks. You be my fluffer. I met with this agency, and they were like, "Do you do nudity?"
Yeah.
It was for like, cause they handled like Spartan, and all those like gladiator shows at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I don't."
What?
And they were like, "Really?"
At all?
And I was like, "No." And they were like, "What if it's just back?" And I was like, "No, because it's like, I don't know, just like a tasteful thing. Like I just."
But that can be done tastefully.
Yeah, I get it.
gotta
And
get
it's
in
art
shape,
and stuff.
but-
It's not that. It's just like, I don't want my mom or like my grandma who's been thinking like I'm going to be a star for my whole life and going to be an actor. Mind you, no one's in the industry in my family. Never
to see
has.
your ass on screen.
Or my dick. You know what I mean? Like it'd be terrible. Or my sisters or like any of my family
Awkward.
or friends or anything. It'd just be awkward and it's not something that I would be super proud of. But I think it's so like, it's art at the same time as acting, so it's
I feel like for the right role you'd do it though.
I would.
I know you would.
I think I would do
You're just
back
fronting.
nudity. I would do back nudity, not I would never show my dick on camera.
Okay.
Too porny.
So you're not fronting, you're backing.
Yeah. I think maybe like if I had like a sex scene or something and I got up from the bed and like walked to the shower and they shot ashore.
All right.
What, are you picturing it?
Sorry, what? What's he talking about?
It's a good,
okay.
It's a good butt.
Moving on, we have got the final round of Slay Sunday. And this is my favourite game. It's called All That and a Bag of Limes. So I've got a bag of limes down here.
Of course you do.
Always carrying around with me, always in my bag,
right.
always in my purse. You're going to reach into my bag of limes. You're going to pick out a lime. And on it is a question. If you don't understand the question, hand it over to me. I will explain it to you, my friend. What does it say?
Oh man, let me pick it.
What does it know? You got to get through all of these. Henny. What are your thoughts on Henny? quick fire. This
that's
quick
it?
fire round. Yeah.
Hilarious. Very funny. Huge personality. Entertaining.
Yeah, for real. I felt like she got a bad rap on the show. She did.
Yeah. I think
we
it wasn't.
her.
I don't think she understood the game enough of where we were, and I think the champs were kind of fucking with her.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't think she was fully ready for what was happening. I don't think any of us quite were, but some maybe caught on a little bit faster.
For real.
But way more athletic than I thought.
Amazing,
she was,
right?
When she did the ribbon challenge, I was like,
I know.
whoa.
And I was strapped to her. I was like,
Yeah. I was like,
my
wow,
God.
you're athletic.
She's a killer.
Yeah.
I wanna
But she
support
was
her.
she was really funny to me.
It was wicked.
And entertaining.
Next up,
Are we doing this whole line?
we're doing the whole bag.
Okay. Under, over, wait forever.
So, if you could be underweight or overweight for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
It depends how overweight. I'm overweight now.
Okay. So, underweight, would you rather be underweight or would you rather be overweight?
Over.
Over?
Yeah.
I thought you'd say over.
Guys can get away with it, and I like to eat.
Yeah. I feel that's something that, yeah,
I'm not overweight to the regular person. I'm overweight to the
For you.
industry and what I should be.
for real.
Latin or hip hop? Keep one. Latin.
Woo.
Like music?
Easy.
Are you doing music?
Yeah.
Oh, Latin for sure. Fuck, marry, kill. Yikes.
Boom. Only choose from the cast members of the Challenge Champs versus Stars season 3. Fuck, marry, kill.
Anybody?
So I'm gonna give you Ashley. Brooke. And I'm gonna give you Lil Mama.
Oh, come on.
What? Who else do you want?
No.
Right? You can swap one in or out.
You
No, I'm
give me
giving
the
you
stars?
Ashley,
I thought you were going to give me the champs.
Brooke, and Lil Mama.
I thought you were going to give me the chance.
Really? Would that make it easier for you?
It would be easier for me.
Okay.
Because it's not as personal.
Okay, we're gonna go Ashley, Tori, Kayla.
Oh, easy.
Go for it.
Marry Tori,
Yep.
because hilarious.
She's been smashed and married all in one day today. That's great.
Oh, I would marry her for sure because she's like my good friend.
Yeah.
So then I could be with her forever.
Okay.
And we would just laugh.
Kill.
Kill Ashley.
Okay.
In a second, and
real.
smash Kayla.
Boom.
Yeah.
Result. Well done, Kayla.
Easy.
Result. Next up.
You know Kayla's half Puerto Rican?
No.
She's half Puerto Rican.
Is that where that fire comes from? That girl's got
No, she
fire
doesn't
in her
embrace her Latin
belly.
side.
Really?
It's crazy.
No, you're
Yeah.
right at all because I would have never have. I would
did.
never have known.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, whoa, really?
Deep.
That's incredible. I was like, you should lean in harder.
Yeah.
CT.
CT thoughts.
Incredible competitor.
Okay.
I mean, just kind of like a freak of nature, grizzly bear.
He is, isn't he? And there's a certain softness to him as well.
Yeah.
So he will crush you and cuddle you at the same time. For real.
Brooke.
Yep.
Sweet as pie.
Sweet as pie.
Can be ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. So you feel that she played the game ignorantly or what? She kind of buried her head in the sand? What's the deal?
I think she just thinks that everyone is good people and very like, she doesn't see bad in people. She sees only good, and that's okay. But you got to be able to see both.
Right.
She's
girl.
kind of like has blinders on to evil or badness and shadiness and
She stays in
seediness.
her white light.
Yeah, she stays in like a very fairy tale niceness, and I'm like, that's not real life.
Okay.
I love Brooke though.
Cool.
Tony.
Yep.
Nice guy. Yeah, nice guy. Like a great competitor. Looks like Prince Charming.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, until like he like gets to talking, and then you're like, maybe not. But cool guy.
Wicked. Go for it. Who's up next?
I don't know what this is.
Let's have a look.
Shamani.
Oh, so the shmoney dance, the shoot, and the nay-nay. You can only keep one. What is the shoot?
I don't know.
You know what the shoot is?
No.
I feel like the shoot is this one.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
I mean, you
hope
better.
so.
These are your questions. Shmoney dance. I'll keep the shmoney dance.
Oh, deep. Shmoney.
Most rated
Most underrated and most overrated.
on the show?
I was going to go performer. So this can be actor, dancer, singer. In the entertainment industry. Broad spectrum.
Do it.
Yes, you fucking can.
I can't trash you.
Yes, you fucking can.
No, I can't.
Yes, you
I
fucking
won't.
can.
You know
yes,
I
you can.
won't.
Yes, you can.
No, it's my
You can pick
world.
anyone.
Nope.
I know it's your world.
I can't do it.
Get out.
You know I can't do it.
Most underrated.
I don't know about most. I mean, I can name several people, but like
First one that pops to mind.
just because I'm working with her right now, creative director is Tinashe. Mm-hmm. She's just incredibly underrated. She sings amazing. She's really pretty. She's young. She's firecracker. She dances phenomenal. She's such a good performer, and it's crazy because she'll come in and learn choreography. That it took 6 hours for a dancer to learn a number or 4 hours, and she'll learn it in 30 minutes. The
Dope.
entire routine.
Sick.
She learns so fast, like I've never seen anybody.
Amazing.
And mind you, I've seen and
A
worked
lot.
with everybody, and she learns it faster than anybody. It's crazy. So her.
Excited.
All right.
Final line.
Cheesecake or chocolate cake? Pff, chocolate
Keep
cake.
one.
Chocolate
Chocolate
cake with
cake.
some vanilla ice cream.
Casper, you love your dessert.
I do. You know I would have 2 a day.
For real. Listen, thank you so much for coming on and joining us on Slay Sunday. Let everybody know where they can find you. Instagram, Twitter, website, whatever it is, throw it out there.
Yeah. Thank you for having me very much. My Instagram is at Beau Casper Smart. BeauCasper SMART, and that goes for Twitter as well and Facebook. I think it's Casper Smart 5, as random as it is.
That is random.
Yeah, 5 was like my jersey number in high school, and it was like, I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
One final question. What's next for you?
I'm all over the show. I'm shooting that TV show next week. I'm going out to a film festival to Miami next month, and I go straight to Jamaica for a big charity.
Ooh, wicked.
Yeah, and then I'm hopefully selling these TV shows. I have some other projects coming up. I'm going to Powerhouse tomorrow night to go check on Tinashe and make sure her show is good. Yeah, kind of all over
So
the
we're going
place.
to be seeing you on our screens again very, very soon.
Maybe.
Wicked.
Maybe.
Casper, thank you so much for coming through. It's been
Thank
an
you.
absolute pleasure.
Thank you, lover.
You're a darling. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you.